Yo, check it out. We got the ultimate wheelie cheat code. These rear stunt pegs are a game changer for wheelies, all right? I literally just put them on my bike. I have maybe 10 to 15 minutes of ride time, and I suck at wheelies, and now I can do them. This is not a wheelie tutorial, this is an install tutorial, but I'm about to show you why you need them, all right? These things are a game changer for wheelies.
They make wheelies effortless. I mean, I could never do this. Here I am on a windy day, picking it up, riding like a freaking breeze, man. These things
completely change the balance point on the bike, and it makes it feel almost like a foot drag, all right? Like I said, I've had this couple minutes, all right? And it just blows my mind to know you're able to wheelie that easy, okay? If you're thinking about getting these, get them, all right? I'm gonna show you how to install them, and let's get into this video.
What up, YouTube? Today, we're gonna be installing stunt pegs on this eRide Pro SS 3.0. Let's see if we just found the ultimate wheelie glitch and make these wheelies super easy. Also, this should apply to the Surron Light Bee and the 79 Falcon Pro, all right? So these stunt pegs are pretty universal. We got ours off Amazon. Let's throw them on this bike and see how we do. You might not even need a seat. Let's get it.
All right, let's go over what we have and what you need. These are the rear axle stunt pegs, all right? So long story short, we got some pegs, so the rear axle blocks, the little pivot guys for the pegs, and some screws, right? No instructions. All right, so the way this is gonna work is these rear stunt pegs, right? We're gonna take off this old block, put in the new block, and these guys are gonna secure to it. So basically when they're being used, they're out. If I wanna store them, they can be up, all right? You can buy cheap pegs like this. They're called folding passenger pegs. And if you buy these, they're around 20 bucks. You're gonna have to screw into your frame, figure out a way to secure it, and it's gonna be the same thing. They're either out when they're being used or folded, basically stored, stowed, going up, all right? You don't need many tools for this. You're gonna need a 10mm wrench for the rear chain adjustment bolt, a 6mm Allen bolt or Allen key for the left side, a 17mm socket or wrench for the other side, and I'm using masking tape to basically mask off where this chain adjustment, the rear axle block is, so it has the same chain tension, all right? All right, I'm gonna build out one of these pegs real quick just to make sure I know what I'm doing. All right, looks like we got a left side and a right side axle block. We got our pegs right here. We're gonna call these guys our securing peg bracket, and then a whole bunch of screws, all right? If I had to guess, this guy's going in here. All right, we got a nut on there already. All right, let's go ahead and get our, we're gonna call this a bolt for the peg. Oh man, look at that. It doesn't even, it's not even the same size, some cheap Chinese stuff. All right, get this peg bracket, we'll call it. Get this peg bracket secured on this bolt. All right, now we get our peg. All right, find out, I guess it's gonna be this, we're gonna call it some kind of securing bolt. All right, securing pin, whatever you wanna call it. We're gonna secure that with a, I think these guys are called circle clips. All right, but we got no spring. All right, so this guy's gonna go on there. All right, being used like this, not being used. I have two bent washers it came with, so I don't know if this thing was already used. I'll probably either put it in here or there. I'm gonna have to go to the manufacturer website, probably go in here maybe. That is to, you know, help secure this up or down, all right? So that's essentially how this thing looks. Let's go ahead and take these off the bike. Let's go ahead and take them off the bike and install it. All right, let's get this rear axle nut off, or I'm sorry, rear axle bolt and block off. On all these Surrons and eRides, you can see there's actual notched edges. So our block is on the very first notch, all right? So what I'm gonna try to do is, this is kind of like my center point of where the rear axle is, all right? I'm gonna put that right there, this piece of tape. All right, we're gonna use our 10mm wrench, and, oh, it's already loose, great. This is our nut's already loose. We're gonna loosen this bad boy up, and then we're gonna do the same process on the other side. Use our 6mm Allen key, and basically, with our 17mm wrench on the other side, we're gonna basically break this free and hopefully get this bad boy off. All right, we got our bike up on this makeshift stand. All right, get it up, supported, because basically when we loosen this up, all right, 6mm, 17mm. All right, sorry if the camera angle's bad. Basically, when I pop out this rear axle bolt, it's most likely gonna drop this wheel, all right? So Looks like we got a spacer and a nut on this side. All right, I'm gonna try to support the wheel with my foot. Oh yeah, this thing's about to drop. Hopefully, I don't know if I should take out the, what do we got there? If I should take out the, why am I wrong? If I should take off this brake bracket? All right, so this guy should just drop. Hopefully I'm not bending my brake bracket. All right, so let's get this chain off. Let me see, can I pop this brake bracket off with it? There we go. I'm gonna have to edit that out. Watch your brake bracket. Ta-da! All right, the wheel is finally off. We were getting hung up on this brake caliper. I guess, yeah, kicked my butt a little bit. But anyway, it's a good time to do some maintenance. You wanna go ahead and check your teeth, make sure they're all there. Go ahead and clean your brake rotor with some rubbing alcohol. Inspect your chain, look for missing links, missing master link, or see if it's rusty. And if you want, go ahead and look at your brake pads, make sure you got even wear. And then heck, if you want, just go ahead and take them off, sand them down, and make them good as new. All right, so let's go ahead and, might have to grease up my rear axle bolt as well. Might as well do that too. But let's go ahead and see if these bad boys fit on here. All right, moment of truth. We hung up the brake caliper with a bungee just because I didn't want it dangling. I don't want to get any air bubbles or damage it. Dude, this thing took a million turns to get off. It might be better off just using a socket to get this off. All right, supplied from the kit, we have our little chain adjustment bolt with our nut already on it. Let's see if it fits. It should hopefully fit. Same size screw / bolt. All right, yeah, it's good in there, good enough. Moment of truth, see if this bad boy fits. Like a glove. All right, next step, we're gonna probably lube up the rear axle. I'm gonna use the factory spacer, put it right here with this bolt, and let's get it all lined up, get the wheel back on, and then see what's next. All right, we got the chain adjustment screw in. Looking at your axle block, I guess I ate too many crayons as a kid. Here is your mounting bracket. Hey, look, it fits in this way. All right, obviously your bolt goes in the back. I guess it's kind of screwed up there. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and secure this, get this on, probably put some Loctite on this one just to be safe. And yeah, let's do both sides and then get the wheel back on. All right, here's our axle block, our peg bracket. All right, I just put some blue Loctite. All right, I used some 243 thread locker. This came with my Roller Mantis. No idea if it's any good, but basically I have to use a 5mm Allen key in order to secure this bolt. So my bad, I forgot to put that in the initial thing, initial intro, but basically, yeah, this is how it's gonna look. All right, making sure I have the bracket in the actual little thread spot. All right, I always try to do this. All right, get it on as tight as I can long ways, and then try to get a quarter turn. I don't know the torque value on here, but oh yeah, I don't want to strip this. Just a nice turn, not too much. It's got that thread locker on there just in case. You don't ever want that last quarter turn to be your last turn. So yeah, let's get it on the bike now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the peg now. Basically, there's a circular top portion and a flat bottom piece. All right, so basically flat goes on the bottom, just like so. All right, I think I figured out what this washer for. So this washer is kind of bent. So I figured maybe they sent me a used return, but I don't think that's the issue here. All right, so with that washer on the inside, right? All right, it kind of gives it that little bit of gap or that little bit of tension I need. So now with our circular kip, we got a little sliding pin through there. Go ahead and secure this. Hopefully I can get this thing to bite using my Allen key, just kind of push it on there. All right, so now as you can see, it's way better. It's not just gonna fall down, all right? So there we go, baby, that's the completed product. Let's do the other peg and then get it installed. All right, here we have the rear axle bolt. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the old rear axle bolts. I'm gonna continue to use the old spacers. Since I got it off, I have some waterproof grease. I've had this sitting around in my garage. I guess it's a pretty good lube you can put on you know, your bike and all your axles. No idea how much you're supposed to do. I just put a little bit on my finger, just kind of rub it on here. I'm not getting it on the threads because I don't want that thing to spin loose. And yeah, hopefully that's the proper amount. I have no idea how much I'm supposed to do. But hey, if you know, go ahead and comment if that's enough or if it's not enough. All right, let's go ahead and slide that thing in there, call it a day. All right, this is gonna be the hardest part of this whole process, is getting this wheel back on this bike. You gotta do basically the chain on the sprocket, fit this brake rotor into the actual caliper. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off the top of this caliper. Basically, I'm gonna take it off, all right? So that way I can just slide this wheel back up in there, all right? Because in case you didn't know, on this E-Ride Pro bracket caliper, there's a little groove right here and it goes on this bad boy. So it is a pain in the butt trying to lift this thing up and get it in here. I really don't want to damage the rotor or the pads. So we're gonna make it easy and just take these off. We're gonna use our 5mm Allen key, 2 bolts on top, take this off, set it to the side, and then hopefully we can get this up nice and easy as a one-person operation, all right? If you got 2 people, you might be able to get it a lot easier, but this is what I'm doing. All right, so now that we got the E-Ride brake caliper off the actual E-Ride brake bracket, as you can see, there's a special groove right here for the rear axle spacer, all right? So it's gonna go on like so, but on this actual bracket, it has to go and slide into this portion. So if you look at this, you can actually slide it nice and easy in a position, all right? And then hopefully get it lined up perfect, all right? So we're gonna throw this chain on real quick, slide this thing in, and then hopefully call it a day, all right? Let's get it. All right, let's try this again. We're gonna just loop the chain around the actual sprocket so we have kind of more room to play with. All right, let's get this little actual brake caliper bracket on the bike. I'm gonna line up both these spacers, get the bracket on. Oh, come on, give me the money shot, baby. We are in. See if I can get this chain on. Oh, bro, when I tell you this was so frustrating, I'm glad I'm doing it so you don't have to, all right? You push this thing a little bit forward, straighten it up, just turn the wheel, get that chain to pop on. There we go. Sorry if this video is all over the place. This is the stressful part. Oh no, you didn't. All right, so we got our rear axle kind of hand tight. All right, we came over here and adjusted our chain adjustment bolt. All right, so this guy right here with our 10 millimeter wrench, if you can see on this E-Ride, it has basically two notches. I don't know if you can see, let me see if I get closer. 1, 2, it's on the second notch, the very first notch on the axle block, it's just a little bit behind. So we did that on both sides, all right? And to adjust our actual chain tension, all right? 2 too loose, 3 is the money shot, 4 too loose, all right? So we want a little bit of play, but not much. 3 is the money shot, all right? So now we are going to use our 6mm Allen key. We're gonna use a 17mm socket. You gotta use a socket now because the bolt is kind of stuck inside there. You're not gonna be able to get a wrench. So if you want, give it a couple spins, make sure you're nice and straight. Let's tighten it up, and then we'll get on this brake caliper bracket back on top. Brake calipers back on. We got on the 5mm bolts in there nice and tight. What we did was we peeked in through the back and through the top and basically made sure the brake pads had the equal same amount of distance on both sides of the brake rotor. The only issue you'll have is if somehow you engage the brake mechanism and squeeze the trigger, the pads are gonna squeeze against that rotor and causing to have drag, all right? So we looked, all right, as you can see, we got no drag, secure them down, and just like that, the brake caliper's on, and we're ready to ride. The only issue here is we're missing a subframe. As you can see, we were trying to knee knocker, kind of shifted to the right, hit the ground kind of hard. Little small broken crack on the weld. So yeah, we're waiting on a new rear subframe. I'd love to try to send it for a wheelie right now with just the pegs, but the battery is not secured by anything right now. So go ahead and try to do a wheelie. The battery could fall out, costing a lot of money. Might have to wait. Not a good idea to even try. Oh, yeah. Balance point is way different, right? All right, I ran out of time yesterday. Finally got the seat back on. I was bored this morning, threw on some carbon fiber accessories. Nice little wrap. When I tell you I only have maybe 20 minutes of seat time with these pegs, I mean it. There's no cap here. I'm about to get the Surron Mega Ride, but yo, check this out. This thing is a cheat code. When I tell you, you want to stunt and do tricks, this is it. This is it. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I suck at wheelies. And here I am hitting this like a breeze, bro. Talking, riding. Oh, it's windy. Got the wheel up. Life is good, man. Get you some stunt pegs. This is by no means a wheelie tutorial. It's just to show you these stunt pegs are the glitch, okay? I'm about to hit up the Surron Mega Ride down in Miami. Hopefully you can hear me. I wish I had more seat time with these things so I could be better and actually do some tricks, but man, these pegs make a huge difference. I'm gonna try to edit this video up, post it, and then head down to the Surron Mega Ride. If you see me down there, I'll have a whole bunch of key change. Show me you're subscribed and I'll give you some. But anyways, remember, life's short, buy a bike. Until the next episode, see you later.